Ever wish you had, like a backstage pass, to really get what makes a company tick beyond the headlines? A way to quickly grasp what's driving the growth, the innovation, the impact. You want to understand that whole interplay, right? Tech, finance, social responsibility. Well, today we're taking a deep dive. We've got the recent annual report from newgen Software Technologies Limited right here. Our mission: to pull out the really important stuff, the key insights, basically give you a shortcut to being genuinely well-informed. You should walk away with some surprising facts, maybe, and definitely a better feel for what makes this company work. Probably more useful than just a quick news hit. Okay, so let's unpack this. At the very heart of newgen Software seems to be this platform, newgen. What exactly is it? Why is it so central?
Right. It's interesting how they talk about it. It's not just, software. They call it a low-code platform for end-to-end automation at scale. And low-code here, it doesn't mean simple. It's more about speed, letting businesses build complex stuff much faster, less traditional coding, more visual tools. It's really designed for that seamless information flow across the whole organization, connecting front, mid, back office, all to drive, well, faster innovation.
So it sounds less like a single product and more like a whole, like an ecosystem. The report mentions it includes and integrates all sorts of tech, process, content, AI, low code, all in one place.
Exactly. Yeah, a whole ecosystem, which, raises the question, who is actually using this? Who benefits? Well, the report says over 500 active customers across 76 countries. Big presence in India, US, UAE, UK, lots of places. And they're working with major banks, insurance, healthcare, governments, telcos, serious players, especially in regulated fields. That says something about trust, doesn't it?
hmm And they have specific solutions too, right? Things like trade finance, digital lending, customer onboarding. And these are apparently received well across geographies. What's the real value there for clients?
Yeah, that really highlights their focus. It's about creating those smooth end-to-end customer journeys, driving that bigger digital transformation across the whole company. Their solutions, they're built to spot missed opportunities, launch products faster, adapt quicker, basically making businesses more agile in, well, a pretty fast-moving world.
It's one thing to say you're innovative, but seeing proof. The report had something pretty concrete on that, didn't it?
It did, yeah. 24 patents. Now, that might just sound like a number, but for a software company, that's like locking down your best ideas. It shows they've been granted patents in India and the US as of March 2024. It's not just defense, it signals they're really creating unique stuff. Gives them an edge.
Stepping back a bit,
Mm.
how does this kind of R&D, these patents, how does it make them future-proof?
Well, they've been folding in emerging tech, things like RPA, robotic process automation cloud, AI, machine learning, even generative AI. So RPA handles the repetitive tasks, with bots. And the AI, especially the newer stuff like generative AI, it keeps their platform smart, capable. It's about staying ahead of the curve, not just current.
Right, and getting nods from outside helps too. They're called a leader by Forrester for content platforms, a niche player by Gartner for low code, plus other Gartner mentions. That reinforces their position, surely. Okay, so we've looked under the hood at the tech, but how does this innovation translate into actual money? Let's dig into the financials. The report calls their FY 2024 performance stellar. What does stellar mean in real numbers?
Stellar here means pretty strong growth and solid profits. Revenues hit 12,438 million. That's up 28% year on year. And maybe even more impressive, their profit after tax, the PAT, jumped 42%, came in at 2,516 million. Those are definitely numbers that make investors take notice.
Wow, yeah. Those are big jumps. And they hit that remarkable milestone too, market cap over $1 billion. That's significant confidence from the market, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. And what underpins this, according to the report, is a resilient and diversified business model. Geographically, EMEA, that's Europe, Middle East, Africa, was strongest, up 39% year on year. India was close behind, 33% growth, mainly driven by banking and financial services stuff.
That global spread seems like a plus, but does working in so many different places bring challenges, different rules, different cultures?
Oh, I'm sure it does. But the revenue split suggests they're managing it. It's about 35% from EMEA, 32% India, 21% USA, 12% APAC, Asia Pacific. Pretty balanced. And what's really key for stability, I think, is that 60% of their revenue is annuity-based. That's 74,981 lakhs. It's recurring income, predictable, which is huge in this market.
And they're not just milking existing customers, right? They added 51 new clients, new logos, as they say in FY24. Plus, getting more revenue per customer, that seems like a healthy sign, both new business and deeper relationships.
Exactly. And one more thing on the financial side. They recommended a dividend, €4 per share. Now, this is after a 1.1 bonus issue, which means investors got an extra share for each one they held. So, doubling the shares and still paying 4 per share, that shows real confidence in future profits and a commitment to shareholders.
Okay, it's easy to get focused on the tech and the money side, but what about the company itself? Its culture, how it's run, its social impact? What does the report tell us about the sort of soul of newgen?
That's a good angle. A key thing they highlight is strong corporate governance. A professional board, they say, good mix of executive and non-executive directors. And reappointing their executive directors for another 5 years, that suggests stability, experienced leadership, assuming shareholders agree, of course.
Right, and they mentioned solid internal controls, fraud prevention, plus a whistleblower system, which apparently had 0 complaints filed or pending in the whole year. That sounds almost too good to be true. Or does it just mean the system works well?
Yeah, it's a great point. 0 complaints can look suspicious sometimes, but here it likely points to effective internal processes. Maybe issues get resolved before they become formal complaints. Shows a proactive approach, perhaps. And then on the people side, 24% of their employees are women. They also talk a lot about employee well-being, health checks, fitness, mental health support, even help with childcare near their offices.
That really does sound like they're looking after their people properly, beyond just the basics. But what really jumped out at me was the CSR, corporate social responsibility. They call it an integral part of our company's culture, rooted in their values, specifically focused on enhancing children's quality of education and life. That feels quite targeted.
It does. And the question is, how do they actually do that? What's the real impact? Their main program is the newgen Digital Discovery Pathshala, or NDDP, started back in 2016. It's about digital literacy, equitable education for underprivileged kids. Right now, it reaches about 3,000 girls in Delhi government schools, providing iPads, tablets, digital tools. It's not just giving tech, though. It seems more strategic.
So it's not just the devices themselves, is it? The report says access to these tools helped over 2,400 students develop a habit of self-learning through online research. That feels genuinely empowering, doesn't it?
It really does, and they cleverly extend it. There's the NDDP Samarth Sarthis, a mother's program, digital literacy, skills, mental health awareness for the mothers too. They even made handicrafts for exhibitions, generating some income. It's like they see supporting the whole family unit as key to helping the kids.
Yeah, and they're involved in other things too, like the Kehu Aishai and KK Academy, helping thousands of students with extra education and supporting the Akshaya Patra Foundation. Over 1 million midday meals provided through them. Clearly, this isn't just window dressing. They've won awards for it, like the Mahatma Award for Quality Education.
Exactly. And finally, just quickly, their environmental efforts seem quite practical too. 0 liquid discharge in their Chennai office. Proper e-waste management. Reusing water from RO plants, using recycled paper, cutting down single-use plastics. It suggests sustainability isn't just a policy doc, it's built into how they operate day to day.
So, wrapping this up, what's the big takeaway for you, the listener, after this deep dive?
Well, zooming out, newgen Software is, I think, a really interesting case study. Their success isn't just the tech or just the strong financials. It seems to be this integrated approach, solid governance, looking after employees, and this genuine commitment to social impact, all woven together. That feels increasingly important today.
Yeah, what stands out to me is how a company can be a global leader in something complex like digital transformation, but also be really invested in local community development and sustainability. It's a powerful combination, maybe one that's often overlooked when we just look at share prices or product launches. So here's something to think about as you watch the business world. How might that drive for tech advancement, for growth, increasingly need to mesh with a real commitment to social good to define who the truly successful companies are in the future?
Ever wish you had, like a backstage pass, to really get what makes a company tick beyond the headlines? A way to quickly grasp what's driving the growth, the innovation, the impact. You want to understand that whole interplay, right? Tech, finance, social responsibility. Well, today we're taking a deep dive. We've got the recent annual report from newgen Software Technologies Limited right here. Our mission: to pull out the really important stuff, the key insights, basically give you a shortcut to being genuinely well-informed. You should walk away with some surprising facts, maybe, and definitely a better feel for what makes this company work. Probably more useful than just a quick news hit. Okay, so let's unpack this. At the very heart of newgen Software seems to be this platform, newgen. What exactly is it? Why is it so central?
Right. It's interesting how they talk about it. It's not just, software. They call it a low-code platform for end-to-end automation at scale. And low-code here, It doesn't mean simple. It's more about speed, letting businesses build complex stuff much faster, less traditional coding, more visual tools. It's really designed for that seamless information flow across the whole organization, connecting front, mid, back office, all to drive, well, faster innovation.
So it sounds less like a single product and more like a whole, like an ecosystem. The report mentions it includes and integrates all sorts of tech process content, AI, low code, all in one place.
Exactly. Yeah, a whole ecosystem, which, raises the question, who's actually using this? Who benefits? Well, the report says over 500 active customers across 76 countries. Big presence in India, US, UAE, UK, lots of places. And they're working with like